In the serene landscapes of Finland, where tranquility reigns, a shadow was cast on the quiet town of Vina. On a cold day in November 1998, an ordinary visit to the Kapwa landfill unveiled a horror that would forever mark the community. What appeared to be an innocuous piece of refuse was, in reality, a severed human leg, a silent testament to a crime so brutal it would unravel a story intertwining the darkest corners of metal music culture with a shocking act of violence. Welcome to Vina, Finland, where this tale of mystery and darkness begins. As the dawn light pierced through the mist of Kapwa landfill, a local, seeking to dispose of his refuse, stumbled upon a sight that would haunt the town of Vina for years to come. Amongst the piles of discarded items, something unnervingly out of place caught his eye. A human leg, severed at the thigh, lay discarded as if it were mere trash. The grim discovery sent a wave of shock through the man, compelling him to alert the authorities immediately. The police, upon receiving the unsettling call, rushed to the scene, their skepticism turning to dread as they confirmed the horrifying find. The area was quickly cordoned off, becoming the epicenter of an investigation that would reveal the depths of human depravity. Forensic teams meticulously combed through the landfill, searching for any clue that could lead them to the victim or the perpetrator of this heinous act. Word of the discovery spread like wildfire through Vina, a community unaccustomed to such brutality. The landfill, once an unremarkable part of their daily lives, had become the setting of a nightmare. Residents watched in a mix of fear and disbelief as their quiet town was thrust into the spotlight, grappling with the reality that such evil had touched their lives. The tranquility of Vina was shattered, leaving its inhabitants to wonder what darkness lurked in the hearts of those they thought they knew. Vina, nestled in the embrace of Finland's vast forests and tranquil lakes, presents the picture of Nordic serenity. Its streets, lined with the warm glow of homes and the gentle hustle of daily life, suggest a community untouched by the chaos of the outside world. Yet, beneath this idyllic surface, Vina, like many small towns, harbors shadows that flicker in the corners of its seemingly peaceful existence. The late 1990s, a period marked by economic turmoil across Finland, cast a long shadow over Vina. The country, grappling with a severe recession, saw unemployment rates soar, and with them a sense of despair that seeped into even the most secluded communities. Vina was not immune. The economic downturn eroded the social fabric, leaving particularly its youth vulnerable to the escapist allure of alcohol. In Vienna, the problem of youth alcoholism emerged as a silent epidemic. Bars and secluded spots became sanctuaries for the town's disaffected youth, a place to drown the sorrows of uncertainty in the numbing embrace of drink. The phenomenon wasn't unique to Vienna, but reflected a broader national struggle with alcohol, a coping mechanism for the disillusioned. This period of economic distress also influenced societal behaviors in more insidious ways. The lack of prospects and the erosion of hope led some to seek belonging and identity in subcultures, with the metal music scene providing a particularly resonant escape for those feeling alienated. While for many this was a harmless form of expression, a dark minority found solace in the more extreme fringes of this culture, where the line between aggressive lyrical themes and real-world violence began to blur. Thus, the tranquil appearance of Vina belied a complex web of issues. The discovery at Kapwa landfill was a stark reminder that beneath the surface of any community, no matter how peaceful, lie undercurrents of turmoil waiting to erupt. The heart of this grim tale beats with the lives of those who crossed the line from metal music enthusiasts to perpetrators of a crime that shook Vina to its core. Central to this narrative are individuals whose descent into criminal behavior reflects a complex interplay of personal turmoil and the influence of subculture. The first, a young man deeply entrenched in the metal scene, found solace and identity in the extreme fringes of this musical world. His life, marred by a turbulent home environment and a sense of alienation from mainstream society, led him to seek refuge in the dark themes and aggressive sounds of black and death metal. This music, with its narratives of despair, rebellion, and occasionally violence, resonated with his inner turmoil, providing an outlet yet also reinforcing his detachment from societal norms. Another culprit, similarly drawn to the metal scene, battled with demons of her own. A history of substance abuse and a fragmented family life left her vulnerable, searching for a sense of belonging. In the metal community, she found not just acceptance, but an identity. However, the line between fandom and fanaticism blurred as the more extreme ideologies within some metal subcultures began to influence her thinking and behavior. Together, along with others sharing similar backgrounds of distress and disillusionment, they formed a tight-knit group united by their passion for metal music. Yet, within this unity lay a dangerous confluence of factors, a shared feeling of disenfranchisement, a glorification of extremity, and a growing detachment from the moral compass that guides societal behavior. It was in this fertile ground that the seeds of criminal intent took root. Their descent into criminality cannot be attributed to metal music alone. Instead, it was the culmination of their troubled backgrounds, the allure of extreme subcultures, and a series of choices that led them away from mere musical fandom into the darkest depths of human behavior. The role of metal music in their lives was complex, providing both a sense of belonging and a framework that, in their minds, justified their escalation to violence. This tragic convergence of factors underscores the intricate web of influences that can transform pain and alienation into acts of unspeakable horror. On the fateful night that culminated in tragedy, the group of metal music aficionados gathered, as they often did, seeking camaraderie in their shared disdain for societal norms and a passion for the darker, more extreme subcultures of metal music. This particular evening, however, was different. It was charged with an undercurrent of tension and restlessness that would soon escalate into violence. The venue was a dimly lit basement, adorned with band posters and paraphernalia emblematic of the extreme metal scene. Music blared, a cacophony of growls and distorted guitars setting the mood. Alcohol flowed freely, lowering inhibitions and fueling the flames of aggression that simmered beneath the surface. Conversations, initially centered on music and mutual grievances against the mainstream, gradually veered into darker territories. As the night progressed, the group's interactions grew increasingly volatile. A debate erupted over the authenticity and commitment to the metal scene's more nihilistic and anarchistic ideologies. One member, whose troubled past was marked by episodes of violence and alienation, became the focal point of contention. Accusations and challenges were thrown, questioning loyalty to the extreme ethos they all purportedly shared. The situation reached a tipping point when a seemingly innocuous disagreement over a particular band's musical direction ignited a fierce argument. Words were no longer sufficient to express the mounting animosity. A physical altercation ensued, a chaotic melee of fists and fury, symbolic of their internal struggles and the external pressures that had pushed them to the brink. In the heat of the moment, the boundary between ideological extremism and actual violence was crossed. What started as a gathering of like-minded individuals ended in a heinous act that would forever taint their lives and the fabric of Vienna. The crime committed that night was not merely the result of personal vendettas or a dispute gone too far. It was the culmination of years of alienation, frustration, and the dangerous allure of a subculture that, for some, became a justification for unleashing their darkest impulses. In the wake of the grisly discovery at Capua landfill, the local police force mobilized with a sense of urgency previously unseen in the quiet town of Vienna. The severed human leg, a grim token of the violence inflicted, became the first piece in a puzzle that demanded solving. The investigation that unfolded was meticulous and exhaustive, as law enforcement sought to navigate the murky waters of a crime that seemed to defy explanation. Detectives started by cordoning off the landfill, transforming it into a sprawling crime scene. Forensic teams, clad in white suits, combed through mountains of refuse, searching for any evidence that could shed light on the identity of the victim or the perpetrator. The task was Herculean. Each piece of garbage, each discarded item had the potential to be a clue, leading investigators deeper into the heart of darkness that this case represented. As the days passed, the painstaking search yielded further evidence. More body parts were discovered, each discovery as horrifying as the last, painting a picture of a crime of unfathomable brutality. The forensic analysis provided insights into the methods used to dismember the victim, suggesting a level of premeditation and savagery that sent shivers down the spine of even the most seasoned investigators. The breakthrough came when items found alongside the remains, a distinctive piece of jewelry, a torn piece of clothing, were recognized during a press briefing televised across Finland. Tips flooded in, guiding the police to a subset of the local community, the metal music scene, known for its insular nature, and to the uninitiated, its intimidating aesthetic. Drawing on this new lead, detectives delved into the social circles surrounding the metal scene in Vienna. They conducted interviews, pieced together social media connections, and attended underground shows, immersing themselves in the culture that seemed to hold the key to solving the crime. It was a world unfamiliar to them, one where the line between artistic expression and real-life violence was sometimes blurred by the lyrics and imagery celebrated within it. The significance of the evidence found at the landfill became clear as the investigation zeroed in on a group of individuals known for their extreme views and volatile behavior. These were not mere music fans, but a tight-knit clique bound by shared ideologies and, as the police would soon discover, shared secrets. The landfill's grim findings had set the stage for uncovering a network of relationships, events, and decisions that culminated in a crime that would leave an indelible mark on the community of Vienna. The meticulous investigation, guided by forensic evidence and tips from the community, led law enforcement to the doorstep of the main suspects. In a coordinated operation that pierced the early morning silence, police descended upon their residences, arresting several individuals linked to the gruesome findings at the landfill. Among them was the central figure whose home harbored dark secrets behind its nondescript facade. The search of the main culprit's residence unveiled a chilling tableau. Among the expected detritus of daily life were items that spoke volumes about the mindset and interests of the occupants. Books on occultism, walls adorned with symbols associated with the darker aspects of metal subculture, and disturbingly, implements that suggested a familiarity with violence. Forensic teams meticulously cataloged each item, aware that they were piecing together the puzzle of a heinous crime. The backgrounds of the suspects painted a complex picture of disaffection and disillusionment. Their paths were marked by brushes with the law, ranging from minor disturbances fueled by alcohol to more sinister indications of violent tendencies. Interviews with acquaintances and family members revealed a trajectory of escalating aggression, an obsession with themes of death and destruction, and a deep-seated sense of alienation from mainstream society. As the suspects were interrogated, the facade of defiance began to crumble for some. The interrogations, tense and exhaustive, eventually yielded confessions that laid bare the horrific details of the crime. The perpetrators recounted the events leading up to the murder with a chilling detachment, describing a night fueled by alcohol, ideological fervor, and a disturbing sense of inevitability. The victim, an outsider who had unwittingly become entangled with the group, was subjected to a brutality that shocked even seasoned investigators. The motives, as described by the perpetrators, were a twisted mix of personal vendettas, a desire to embody the extreme ideologies celebrated in some quarters of the metal scene, and a misguided sense of camaraderie that propelled them toward an act of unfathomable violence. These confessions, along with the evidence collected, provided a stark glimpse into the depths of human depravity, leaving the community of Vina and the broader public grappling with the reality that such darkness had festered unnoticed in their midst. The arrests and the revelations that followed marked the beginning of a long journey toward justice for the victim and a reckoning for a society confronted with the darkest aspects of its underbelly. The crime that unfolded in the quiet town of Vina left an indelible mark on the fabric of the community, echoing far beyond the immediate horror of the acts committed. The families of the victim were thrust into a nightmare, grappling with a loss magnified by the brutality of its circumstances. Their grief was a stark reminder of the human cost of such violence, a wound that time would struggle to heal. The local community, too, was forever changed. The revelation that such darkness had lurked among them, masked by the familiarity of faces seen in daylight, shattered the innocence of Vina. Trust, once given freely, became a casualty of fear. The incident sparked conversations about vigilance, about the signs missed, and about the importance of addressing the underlying issues that had allowed such extremism to take root. The metal music scene, both locally and beyond, faced its own reckoning. The vast majority of fans and artists who embraced the genre for its artistry and sense of belonging found themselves defending a culture they knew was not defined by the actions of a few. Initiatives to combat the stereotypes and misconceptions about metal music proliferated, aiming to reclaim the narrative and affirm the positive aspects of the community. Reflections on the factors that led to the crime underscored the complexities of alienation, mental health, and the influence of extremist ideologies. It became clear that the path to prevention lay in addressing these root causes, in fostering environments where young people felt heard and supported rather than pushed to the margins. As we close this chapter on a crime that shook the town of Vina, we are reminded of the shadows that exist within society, of the importance of community, and of the resilience of the human spirit. This story, while unique in its details, reflects broader themes that touch on the very nature of crime and its impact on society. True crime challenges us to confront the darkest aspects of the human condition, not for sensationalism, but for understanding. It compels us to look beyond the headlines, to see the people and the stories, and to learn from the pain they bear. For more stories that delve into the heart of true crime, exploring the why behind the what, subscribe to our channel. Together, let's seek to understand, to empathize, and to ensure that the lessons of the past illuminate the path to a better future.